It is the start of day 132. You'll notice there's a skip in day 131 because we took a zero in essentially Hanover, New Hampshire. It was really White Horse Junction, Vermont. But anyway, staying here at a Choice Hotel. Stayed here because it was near several eating places that we could walk to. All the other hotels, there wasn't anything around. So I spent the day yesterday pretty much just off my feet and relaxing and eating, and I had some camp chores to do. I cleaned my filter, repacked my bag with the food I got for resupply. We since we're headed up to a hostel in about 3/4 days, we had 5 days of resupply, so we sent our extra food ahead to the hostel via postal service so we don't have to carry it. In this next section, we're going to hit New Hampshire, and we're going to start hitting some of the more challenging terrain. So, I forgot to say, today is September 4th. So we're getting ready to walk over here and get a bus back into Hanover, which will drop us off really close to where we need to be. The Appalachian Trail goes directly through Hanover, so we're going to be dropped back off at the post office, which is like half a block from where we need to be, and then we'll have a road walk of, I don't know, a mile or so out of town to get back to trail. So we don't know exactly where we're going to get the bus stop, but we're going to figure it out. We got to grab a bus and get back on trail. After a day off, pack feels pretty heavy. Switched out summer gear and added winter gear. So for me, that meant my hammock underquilt and my hammock top quilt. And I added a pair of warm base layers and rain pants, which can also be wind pants / warm pants. So more bulk in my winter stuff, so it doesn't fit in as nicely to my pack. I guess I'll get used to packing it. I've packed it this way before, so we'll just keep taking it on down the trail. Just have to adjust. So again, beginning of day 132. So we got the bus, and the bus dropped us here close to the post office we were at, not yesterday, but the day before. We just have to go up to the next street and walk out of town. So, free bus, and then got us taken care of. Here's the post office we were at the other day. One that, well, they found my package, so it was all good. So we left White River Junction about, let me see, it was about 8:05. It's about 8:36 now, and we have a road walk out of town here on Lebanon Street, which would be the AT. So we're going to go hike out of town and find the trail and get to it. After a couple nights in a bed and lazing around, this feels like work, but we're headed into what most people say is the most beautiful part of the trail. So we will keep taking you up the trail. Obviously there isn't much to see other than streets and buildings so far, but this is actually officially part of the AT, so we're doing what we need to do, taking it on down the trail. Today's goal is Moose Mountain Shelter. It's on the top of Moose Mountain. Moose Mountain isn't a huge climb, so we're going to try to take it up Moose Mountain Shelter, and to Moose Mountain Shelter we're going to have to carry water for about 1.5 miles. If we're really feeling energetic, we might go over the top of Moose Mountain and stealth camp, but that would be like 15. So we'll just see. But we are in New Hampshire, baby. Starting the final countdown to Katahdin here. We're figuring 5 to 6 weeks, and you know, this feels like it drags out after a while if you've hiked this long. And we're just ready to get to the main event. The main event, which is Mama K. I don't know if you can see this, but see these rocks here. We've been doing, the topo showed kind of a gradual up, but when you throw in all these rocks and roots, it makes it a little bit more challenging. It feels like we've been going up now for over an hour, and I mean, that's what we're supposed to do today. It showed a gradual up. I guess we're grateful that it's not really steep, although it's felt pretty steep. I don't know if you can, the camera just doesn't do this justice. But the first day out of town, it's usually a challenge, full pack. Had a day of rest, your body says, hey, I'm not used to doing this anymore. And but we're going up. We're in basically a hemlock forest. Lots of moss and rocks. It's a good day. It's a pretty day. The temperature's moderate, 65 degrees. So it's a good day, but yeah, we're feeling a little like we took a day off yesterday. So we'll keep taking you down the trail. We've been hiking along these big veins of rocks coming up through here. The trail has been sometimes rocky, sometimes really nice. Right here we got a kind of a smooth stretch, but it's kind of cool to look and see all the rocks here. Big rocks. Anybody tell you the mountains are made of rocks? So we got some serious rocks going on here. Here's a sample of the trail today. Hiking through hemlock groves. Right now the trail is fairly gentle. All the good things must come to an end, but kind of what we're seeing out here. Walking, you know, basically we need to walk about 8 hours a day to get enough miles in to get where we need to be. So the terrain varies, but this is one of the biomes that we've been walking through a lot. Hemlock forest, hemlock or evergreen or something. A lot of hemlocks. And a lot of roots. Hemlocks have a lot of roots, or people have kicked the dirt off the roots in the hemlocks. I don't know how you want to say it, but and then you transition. So here's the transition phase. We're transitioning into, my guess is these are birches. We've been seeing a lot of birches here lately. If you're a biologist and you know what these are different than me, then feel free to leave a comment. Looks like we're coming to a bridge. And you never know your neighbor, you never know your pal, if you've ever navigated the Appalachian Trail. Oh, really kind of unique. Kind of unique. I've been surprised, I've probably said it before, I've been surprised at how many boardwalks there have been. Just get these marshy areas and they build a boardwalk, or marsh boards, or whatever you call them. Especially here in New England. We have quite a bit of that. So hiking snippet for today. There'll be more. Oh, look, black mud. Since we started having cooler temperatures, we've been seeing the ferns dying off, and you can especially see that here. Some are still alive, but a lot of them are turning yellow and drying up. They're saying it's time for the end of the season, I guess. So our landscape is changing as we hike. So Just another sign of the change of the seasons. We were watching a video of another through hiker this morning that creek had met along the way, and he's up on Franconia Ridge, which is in the Whites, and he said everybody told him to get his cold weather gear by the Whites. When he didn't do it, he said, get your cold weather gear by the Whites. So we have it. So it's about 2 in the afternoon, and we were coming to a water source we thought we were going to have to filter, but about 2/10 before the water source was a water cache, which means water we don't have to filter, we can just use. So we filled up and we looked at water ahead, and the prognosis is not good. So we loaded up with 3 liters of water, which is enough to do a dry camp. We're going to hike to the top of Moose Mountain at least, where there is a shelter with no water. Hopefully we can go farther than that. There's a possibility of a water cache in about 6 miles. And there have been a number of water caches today that I think the Dartmouth Outing Club are maintaining, which is fantastic. So we're going to go till we can't go anymore and dry camp. Hopefully when we get to Goose Pond Road, there will be a water cache there, because between here and the next water source, I believe, is 10 miles. So with 3 liters of water, that's 1 for supper, 1 for breakfast, and 1 to go. And that's going to be a little tight to go another, I don't know, 8-10 miles, if my math is right. So that is what we're dealing with. Kind of sucks dirt carrying 6 pounds of water with a already resupplied pack, 3.5 days food. But it's what you got to do, so that's what we're doing. In the words from Marv from Home Alone 2, Harry, I've reached the top. What have you? What have you? Paid the price. Well, it's wrap-up time for day 132. So it was a good day. We hiked up over Moose Mountain, which was a fair climb. It actually was 2 climbs. Hiked up and over Moose Mountain, and then decided to take it on down the other side to get closer to what we think is a water cache down here at the road. If it's not a water cache, it gets us closer to water anyway, because I think there's like 10 miles between the last water source and the next one. So that'll get us 4 or 5 miles into that. So today's mileage, I think, was 13.8. We're 2/10 from the road. If we would have gone to the road, it would have been 14. I'm not quibbling over 2/10. That was a 14-mile day. The last, it was a hard-fought day. Any time coming off of 0, you just takes you a while to get your body going, and we had heavier packs because we now have winter gear, and because we did a resupply, although we were able to do a resupply for 3.5 days, because that's our target to get into the next hostel, and it could be 2.5, 2 3/4 days, but just didn't know how it was going to work. Got more mileage in today than we weren't sure. Thought maybe we'd have to stop at the shelter, which was 10.5, so pressed on a little extra mileage. It feels good to get that done. The downhill, we lost 1,300 feet in like 2.5 miles, and at the end of a long day, it was kind of murder on the feet and the knees. Just worn out. That's all I can say. It's going to get to the point where your knees won't hardly hold you up anymore when you've been going down, down, down. So I'm being lazy with my end of day wrap up because I'm laying in the hammock with my shoes off, letting them rest. I'm letting the dogs out, letting them run free. So anyway, it was a good day. We were leapfrogging with another group of through hikers pretty much all day. They passed us up here at the end of the day when we made our stealth camp, and hopefully the water cache that they've talked about in 0.2 of a mile is still there in the morning when we get there. That would be so fantastic, because then we wouldn't have to make it, 5-6 miles on a liter of water. Carried roughly 3 liters here. Takes about a liter to make supper, liter to make breakfast, and then a liter to go. So that's kind of where we're at. There's a forecast of 30% chance of rain tonight between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. according to our leapfrogging friends today. We didn't really look at it, don't have coverage now to check out the weather. But if it's going to rain, the perfect time for it to rain is overnight. So if it's going to rain, let it rain tonight and let it clear out early in the morning so things can dry a little bit and we can get on the trail, get up and over Smarts Mountain tomorrow. New Hampshire gave us all we wanted today. We were glad to be out of Vermont, but today it had some challenging terrain. There was some really good trail too, but nothing like those couple of days in Vermont where we had some really rocky up climbs. It didn't have anything like that. So it's a good day in the books. It's a good start up through Vermont. We're starting in, and the peaks get gradually more aggressive. So I think the way it goes now is Smarts Mountain, and then it's Mount Cube, and then there's kind of a gentle 10 miles between there, and then it's Mount Moosilauke. And Mount Moosilauke is the real McCoy. It's a several thousand-foot climb, and the downhill on the other side, which is a mile and a half, it's terribly steep and runs by a stream, so the rocks are usually damp and wet. There's a really good chance that we're going to do that southbound as a slack pack, because the steep descent is much easier to hike up the steep descent, even though Moosilauke and is the real deal. It's easier to come down it's easier to come southbound to do that, and we're all for making it easier, and if we can do it without packs, that would be fantastic. That hike up and over is only like 8 miles, but it's going to be 8 hard miles. So if we can do that without packs, today we carried, like I said, we carried 3 liters of water up and over Moose Mountain. So it was 1.6 miles up, and then we carried it all the way down, and that extra water, that's 6 pounds. Well, maybe not 6 pounds more than we normally carry, but at least 4 pounds more. Just really wears on you. So every time you step down, all that weight comes crashing down on your knees and your ankles and your feet. And but we didn't want to get here and have no water and be dependent on this water cache that may or may not be. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and that's what we did today. But put 14 in the book, so it feels really good. We're going to eat some food tonight, and we're going to hit the hay. We're just going to hit the hay. We've been, both Creek and I have been at the end of a food carry. I've always had extra food, so this time I'm trying to cut it very close. And at the end of today, I have no extra snacks left. All I have is my supper. And then I've got tomorrow, and I'm not carrying a peanut butter jar or a block of cheese, which is something I sometimes eat in the evening to add some extra calories. don't have it this time. We're going a little lighter and trying to take it on into the Hiker's Welcome Hostel here in a couple of days. So we will see you all down the road. I'll throw up some photos here at the end of the video. We had a great view from the top of the south peak of Moose Mountain, and I'm quite sure that in that video, if you look and see in the video I took of from the top there, which would be before this wrap up, there is a tall peak in the distance, and I think that is Mount Washington, and I think you can also see Franconia Ridge from the vantage point we're up. It's like hiking in the Whites. We're kind of hiking this big horseshoe. We're going to start here, and we're going up, and then we're going to curve back around to those peaks. So we are getting into the real McCoy. Probably this next 150 miles are the hardest miles on the Appalachian Trail, with one exception in the very last climb in Maine. Katahdin is a pretty stiff climb, but by the time you reach the end, we can do that with day packs, and we know we're going to be done. And so that one is not as hard. The peaks in southern Maine are rugged, but they aren't quite as tall as the Whites in New Hampshire. So we're getting ready really to head into the main event and make it as easy on two older guys as we can, but we're determined to get through this. So appreciate your prayers and any encouragement you can give us, because every day on the trail is hard. It's just the degree of hardness. Every day is hard. You're hiking 8 hours a day with a loaded pack. Every day is hard. There are some really cool blessings with people you meet and some of the beautiful views, but in between is a lot of work. So wrap up of day 132.